All right, so the first thing, how do I find an A value? All right, so just so you know what I'm talking about again, y equals A sine bx plus c. How do I find that number out in front? There is a formula I'd given you guys in the past, how to find the A value. Start us off right. Here we go, number 2. Isaiah, start us off, big dog. Look through your notes if you have to. A value. How do I find the A value? I do what?
The max plus the minimum over 2.
Let me do this. That's C value. When you add the 2, that's the C value.
Yeah.
So when I find the A value, I want to do what instead?
Max minus min.
There you go. Max minus min over 2. All right, and now I know Isaiah won't make that mistake tomorrow. All right, make sure minus to find the A, add them to find the C. Everybody all right? Okay, period. This is a formula we used a lot yesterday. How do I find the period given the equation, the period formula? You guys will come in knowing tomorrow. What do we got here? Mason, period formula for me?
2 pi over the b value.
There you go, 2 pi over b. And some of you are saying b, yeah, the b value. You get it right here in the equation, the number that's in front of the x. Okay, that's your b value. Be ready to skip, flip, multiply tomorrow, just like we did yesterday. If you have a fraction in the denominator, be ready to keep the top, multiply, and flip the bottom. Everyone's all good? Any issues? All right, let's do some actual problems. Back of your packet, kids. Back of your packet, page 39. Page 39, back of your packet. Anything I go over, you'll see tomorrow. All right, everything I go over, you'll see tomorrow. All right, number 3 on page 39. Number 3, on each equation, find the amplitude and the period. Find the amplitude and the period. Amplitude, again, that's my A value. Hopefully at this point in the unit, you know where that's located in the equation. Come on. Let's do this. Bassett, what do you got? What's my A value? 3, the number out in front. And just a reminder, it always has to be positive. It's always positive, that A value. Bassett, let's keep rolling. What's the period formula again?
2 pi divided by b.
Yep. Look at the equation for me, Bassett. What's the B value here?
4.
Yep. So 2 pi over 4. Also, if you want to reduce it, maybe 2 pi over 4 is not a multiple choice response, but pi over 2 might be. All right, that's just 2 pi over 4 reduced. Thanks, Bassett. Everyone else okay? Before I get to the second equation. Oh, here we go. Come on, you're going to do great tomorrow. Doing great tomorrow. Caroline.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Sorry, I'm eating Cheez-Its.
What?
I'm eating Cheez-Its. Amplitude is 2.
2. Hey, everybody. Great job, Caroline. She didn't put -2 because amplitude, height is always positive. Good job, Caroline. Period. 2 pi divided by b. What's the b value in that equation?
8.
8. So 2 pi over 8. You could leave it like that. Like I said in the last problem. Maybe you want to reduce it, or maybe the multiple choices will be reduced. Pi over 4. Any special flavor, Caroline, or just plain?
Extra toasty.
Okay, you got it. Not a big Cheez-It guy myself, but good for you. All right, we're going to 8 now. We're going to 8. Which is the range now. Now, usually I'd write it in brackets, and I would expect you guys to do it brackets tomorrow. I just wrote the inequalities instead, but we can do it the same way. All right, need help finding the range. Let's roll. 4, here we go, Nick. All right, Nick, before I did up 10, what was my range?
-6, 10.
Well, -6 to what? Before I went up 10. I didn't shift yet. I just have -6 sine x. Before I did that shift, it was -6 to what? As far as, go ahead, sorry.
0.
Whoa, remember, it goes up and down to the same values. right? So if your minimum's -6, it went up to +6 on your max, right? Remember that?
Yep.
Okay. Again, Nick, let me just show you here. Hey, I'm just taking out the 10 there. And I'm just looking at -6 sine x. So it went down to 6, up to +6. Then, Nick, you shifted it, all these points, up 10 units. So now, what is going to be the range of my final curve here?
416.
4 to 16. So it's going to go down to 4, up to 16, which only choice I can have here is 4. Nick, you good there?
Yep.
Okay. Everyone else okay on how to find the range? All right, let's move then. If no one's got questions, please stop me. 12. Number 12. We've done these a couple times. You'll see another one tomorrow. Which one of these 4 will not intersect this graph? Which one of these 4 will not intersect? And the only way to do that is to find the range. I got to know what it goes down and up to. All right, so someone's going to talk to me here about what the range of -5 sine x plus 14 is, so I can figure out which line's not going to intersect it. All right, here we go. Talk to me here. Here we go. Eliana, before I did the shift of up 14, what was your range before we went up 14? And I'm talking to ghosts. All right. Let's try this again. Oh, suspense. Caroline, back to you. Before I did up 14, what was the range?
-5, 5,
Yep. And then now you go up 14.
9, 19.
Yep. So this graph is anywhere on the y-axis from 9 to 19. So Caroline, as you look at the choices here, remember the graph's only going from 9 to 19. Which one will never hit it then?
2.
Choice 2, 20, right? Because it'll be above that curve. All right, it'll be above it.
Yeah.
Everyone else, questions? Whew. Still hungry. All right, 16. 16. An angle increases from pi to 3 pi over 2. What's happening to sine? Ooh, wow. This is a new one, huh? What's happening to sine x as you go from pi to 3 pi over 2? Best thing I can suggest, do a quick sketch of the sine curve. Do a quick sketch. We've done a lot of sine curves before. Ready? Quick sketch. Whoop. Shoop. There you go. Pi over 2. Pi. 3 pi over 2. How we always have set it up. 2 pi. And then this is just regular sine, so up to 1, down to -1. Let's see what the curve looks like, and then you'll answer the question for me. Okay, so a quick sketch of the sine curve, and then watch how easy this answer ends up becoming, I hope. Ooh, here we go. Kian, fill me in here. Where's sine start?
Pi.
Pi?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I have no idea how to do this because I was not here on this day.
Okay, I'm going to be blatantly honest too. Probably want to watch the video too. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, just being blatantly honest with you as well. Okay, here we go. 8, Colin. Where's sine start?
Midline.
Okay, there's nothing fancy about this, so it's going to start at 0. Keep talking to me.
Goes to the max.
Max, then where?
Back to midline.
Yep.
Then to the minimum. And back to midline.
All right, Colin, got it. All right, stay with me here, Colin. I'm looking for what does this curve do from pi to 3 pi over 2? So look at pi, Colin, to 3 pi over 2. Is it going down or up?
Down.
So decreasing from what two numbers?
0 to -1.
Okay, that was pretty darn easy now, wasn't it, kids, when I saw the graph right in front of my face. I could easily tell from pi to 3 pi over 2 it was decreasing, and it's decreasing from 0 to -1. Good job, Colin. Are we okay there? All right, I'm going to ask the same question in 17, except now I want to go cosine on you. All right, same question on 17, going cosine. So can you sketch a quick cosine curve? You make this curve, this question becomes very easy. Cosine now, regular cosine, everyone, regular cosine. Dan, here we go. Tell me something about the cosine curve.
That's gonna. Well, it's gonna be. It's gonna start from the max and then go down.
All right, starts at its max, which is 1 in this case. Keep going. Where's it go now?
Then it goes down through pi over 2.
Where though? Midline, max, min?
Oh, midline.
Midline, then where?
Then hits the minimum.
Minimum, yep. Then goes where?
Then goes back up at 3 pi over 2.
Yep, and then where's it finish?
And it finishes at the max at 2 pi.
All right, Dan, here you go. The question says from 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi. So look at that part of the graph. From 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi. Is it increasing or decreasing?
It's increasing from -1 to 0.
From which one?
Oh wait, no, it's increasing from 0 to 1.
There you go. Guys, I can't answer that unless I have the curve in front of me. Or I guess some of you guys are probably good enough that you can just envision the curve in your mind and maybe do it that way, but I got to see it. But do you see how easy those last two were when I just drew a quick sketch of each of the curves? You guys good? Anything before we go to 21? All right, 21. I'm going to add in a question too here. I'm going to add in a question. I give you the max and I give you the minimum. What's the value of the amplitude, and can you add on and the vertical shift? All right, what's the amplitude and what's the vertical shift? Both I would like answered. All right, if you want to find the amplitude, that's another name for my A value. Isaiah took care of this at the beginning of class. Formula to find the A value. Here we go. Colin, back to you. What's my formula for the A value?
Max minus min over 2.
All right, take a look at my points, Colin. Here we go. How high does this graph go if it's got a maximum of 210? Up to
10.
Good. You always use the Y value. 10 minus, now look at the minimum, Colin. How low does it go?
-6.
Good, everyone. 10 minus -6 all over 2. And you got one more piece here, Colin. 10 minus -6 over 2.
8.
There you go. So it's got an amplitude of 8. Good job, Colin. And what about my shift now? Shift. Vertical shift, also known as the C value. C value. Kian, here we go. C value. Gave it to you at the beginning of class today. How do you find it?
Max plus min divided by 2.
All right, what was the max for this curve?
10.
10 plus the minimum?
-6.
Yep, all over 2. What's the shift?
You end up getting 2.
2, so that means I went up 2 here on this curve, up 2. And make sure, oh, go ahead, I'm ready.
So you just ignore the x values if you see a question like that?
Yeah, remember the max and the min are on the y-axis, right, Caroline?
Yeah.
Yep. So I always look at the Y values. Okay? Good deal? All right, guys, close your packet and flip it over to the back. You got a nice white space right there. I got to make sure I graph with you right now because there's 3 graphing questions on the quiz tomorrow, and I got to make sure I go over at least 1 graphing question right now. So close your packet, flip it over to a nice white space, and we are going to go graph this equation right now, -3 cosine x plus 2. And then I got a couple other questions based off that, but let's focus on graphing that first. You have 3 graphs for me tomorrow. Okay, so I'll give you a second to jot that down. -3 cosine x plus 2. All right, let's talk about the graph of it. I do have some good news about tomorrow. You remember yesterday's class where we had to change the x-axis, what it was? We had to find the period, divide by 4, and change the x-axis. You do not have to worry about that tomorrow. Okay, the x-axis will remain our traditional pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. You do not have to worry about changing the x-axis tomorrow. So that's one piece of good news. I'm going to wait until the second quiz to do that to you. All right, so do not worry about how do I label the x-axis. That's how we're going to label it. You do, though, have to worry about the max and the min, the midline. All right, so before graphing, I suggested this to you when we did this. Please try to find the max and the min before you graph. Or I might even come out and ask that before anyway, but find the max and the min so you know where on your y-axis you need to go. So I need somebody's help doing that first. Here we go. Dan, back to you. All right, Dan, you see that? Do you see there's a shift on this curve?
Yeah.
Okay, +2. Before I did that shift, Dan, what was my max and min before I went +2?
-3 and 3.
Yep. All right, now, Dan, now I move up 2. What's the max and min for this curve we're about to graph?
The minimum would be -1. And
Yep.
the max would be 5.
Okay, there you go, guys. So min -1, max 5. That's good to know because I got to put it on my y-axis. -1, 5. And also, you want your midline to be on here as well. You want to make sure you label the midline, which is not 0. It's the shift. The midline and the shift are always the same, which in this case is 2. So we got to make sure we got 2 on there. So make sure tomorrow you do all your setup first. All right, do not put any points on until your graph is ready and set up to go. All right, now let's graph. Whew. Okay, Bassett, you're up. This should be an easy one for you. We're doing cosine, Bassett. Tell me a little something about cosine.
Usually we start at the maximum, but at this time we start at minimum.
Man, you are unreal. Unbelievable. Yes, usually it starts at its max, but Bassett's like, wait, you put a negative in front, so I got to flip it to its minimum, which was -1. Good job. Didn't even have to say anything. All right, keep talking.
Midline, pi over 2.
Yep. Hey, guys, midline. Don't go to 0 here. It's got to shift. If it's got to shift, you go up to the shift. If there's no shift, yeah, then you plug it in 0. Go ahead, Bassett.
Then maximum of 5, which is at pi.
Yep.
Then back to midline at 2.
Yep. I almost did 0. Go ahead.
And then back to -1 at 2 pi.
There it is. There's the curve. Thank you very much. Appreciate your dedication. There it is, guys. And that's as tough as I can give you right there with a negative sign and a shift. All right, that's about as tough as I could give you tomorrow. Any questions on that curve? Please ask. Please, there's 3 graphing questions tomorrow. All right, There is a multi-part question one at the end too, just like this one. So ready? Can anybody help me graph y equals -1? That's not a curve, it's a line. Y equals -1. Ready? Actually, let me do a different color here. Yeah. Y equals -1. That's a horizontal line going through -1. Okay? Y equals whatever number is always a horizontal line going through that number. So you have two graphs on one right now. Two graphs on one. Part C. We haven't done this for a while, but I threw it on the quiz and I don't want to scare you with it. I want to go over it. What interval is the curve increasing? So give me what x value to what x value is this curve increasing? Increasing. From what x to what x is it increasing? Not y values. I want the x values for this. Where is it increasing? What x values? Isaiah, here we go. You got this, big dog. Where is this curve increasing, Isaiah?
From the start.
Which would be 0. We call that 0. Yep. To where? Where does it stop increasing? 0 to what?
Pi over. Oh, it stops increasing at pi.
There it is. That's it. So ready? 0. Hold on. One job. So from 0, comma, to pi. And another reason why I'm reviewing this gets parentheses because it's not increasing actually at 0 and pi. All right, so it's increasing from 0 to pi. Brackets is for range. Brackets is for the range. 0 to pi increasing. Last question, part D. Using your graph, how many values are there where these two are equal? -3 cosine x plus 2 and -1. Basically, the two graphs you just did. The two graphs. How many places are they equal? What's another name for where they're equal? Where they intersect. Okay? These two will be equal where they intersect. I don't care. Hey, don't give me the values. I just want to know how many are there. How many are there where they intersect? Here we go. Ella, how many places do I have where these intersect?
0.
They don't intersect at all?
I don't think so. I mean, there's 2 points like where they're equal.
Yeah. Right. Hey, Ella, ready? See this one?
Yeah.
We count that. And we count this one here because it goes through those 2 points, okay? It doesn't have to look something like this to go through. It can go through just the points at the end too, and that's fine. All right, so everyone, there's 2 values. Okay, 2 values where they're equal. All right, anything here? Because I'm done reviewing. Anything else here, guys? We all okay? This was a pretty solid review here. All right. If there's no questions, you guys have an assignment to do. There's only 2 pages here. It's not a very long assignment. So let's go to page 18. You have page 18 and 19. And I'm actually going to do 2 of the questions with you right now. All right, I'm going to do 2 of the questions because I didn't go over some stuff I wanted to yesterday that's on this assignment. So can you go to page 18 and look at number 3? Because the last thing I want some of you guys to do is take some great notes yesterday and you're like, what is he asking me here? We never did this. So let's go over this one, number 3. Page 18, part of your assignment getting done. Period is equal to 18. What's the frequency? Yesterday, you guys always knew the frequency and would find the period using the formula. But now I'm going backwards, I guess. Now I'm going to tell you the period. What's the frequency? All right, we're fine, though. We're fine. We're fine. We're all good. Here we go, Liz. It's giving us the period, Liz. So the only thing I know is a formula that involves period, which is what? What's the period formula?
2 pi over b.
There you go, Liz. 2 pi over b. What did they tell us the period was, Liz?
18.
Okay, so guys, where period is going to go 18 equals 2 pi. It's asking me for b. It's asking me for the frequency, which is b. Liz, any thoughts on how I can get b by itself to solve it for b?
Cross multiply.
Great job, Liz. Great. Yes. I could put the 18 over 1. She's absolutely right. We can cross multiply. Good job. So I can say 18b equals 2 pi. And then divide both sides by 18. Yep. So b, my frequency, is 2 pi over 18. Oh, that's not a choice, guys. That's not a choice. Anybody help me? Anybody want to chime in? It's not a choice.
Pi
But
over 9.
yeah, pi over 9. You can reduce it. You can reduce it. Yes, pi over 9. That's what I was talking about before. You may get one of these tomorrow and the choice isn't up there because you didn't reduce yet. Guys, good? And I'll let you know I put one of those on the quiz too, where I give you the period, find the frequency. There's one of those on the quiz. And I think number 4 deals with the same thing when you get to that in a second. All right, number 4 is the same thing. It gives you the period, find the frequency. Last one I'm going to do with you guys is number 5. I want to do one more graphing one with you before I let you go. We did 2 yesterday, but I don't feel too comfortable yet. So we're graphing cosine 2x. Again, from yesterday, if that b value, that frequency is something other than 1, you're going to have a brand new x-axis to label. All right? It's not going to go pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. If the frequency, the b value, is something other than 1, we're going to have a new x-axis. So let's go over the steps again on how to figure out what's on the x-axis. Okay, Bassett, last time for you. What is my b value in this equation?
2.
2, all right, because that's what it asks at the beginning here. So 2. One last reminder to your classmates. What's the period formula?
2 pi over b.
2 pi over b. So it's going to be 2 pi over 2 reduces down to what, Bassett?
Oh, pi.
Pi, all right? So pi is the period. That's where this curve should end, at pi. Your curve should end at pi. That's what it's telling you. Now, how do I break up the x-axis from yesterday? We find key values. Let me refresh everyone's memory. How do I find the key values? You take the period, pi, and always divide it by what from yesterday? Anybody? Divide it by?
4.
4. Yep. It's always divided by 4. Ooh. Ooh. So that means we're going to put a tick mark every pi over 4. Oh. Yeah, remember yesterday it was easy. It was 2, I think, and it was like 2, 4, 6, 8. Awesome. But now it's pi over 4. All right. No problem. Here we go. So the first one, pi over 4. Ooh, what would the next one be then? Remember yesterday, 2, next one's 4 because I kept adding 2. You keep adding pi over 4. So I want you guys to think about this. Pi over 4 plus another pi over 4. What do you think I'm going to label that next tick mark as? Pi over 4 plus another pi over 4. Any suggestions?
Pi over 2.
Okay, yep. How'd you get that, Nick? You went a little ahead of me, Nick, but how'd you get that? Because you reduced. You reduced what?
Add a pi and then add 4, it becomes 2 pi over 8.
Well, not 2 pi over 8.
2 pi over 4.
2 pi over 4, guys. That's what this becomes. And Nick just reduced that to pi over 2, which is fine. I don't care if it's reduced or not on the graph. So does everyone see how we got there? Pi plus another pi gives me 2 pi. Suggestions on what the next one's going to be if I keep doing this. pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4. Next one. What do you think the next one's going to be? Keep chiming in here.
Would it just be pi?
Yep, 4 pi over 4, right? Which you just reduced down to pi, which is fine. 4, I'm just going to write 4 pi over 4. You guys can write pi if you want. And that's where it ends. Because remember, it ends at our period, pi. But I got some bad news. We didn't read the directions carefully. What's bolded and underlined? 2 cycles. We have right now enough for 1, so we got to keep going. So I apologize to you guys that spread it out already. All right, I apologize if you guys spread it out. You may need to erase and shrink it down a little bit because we got to do this one more time. 2, everyone see that? 2 cycles. We're good for 1. Now we got to keep going. Go ahead, guys. What do you think the next tick mark will be then? I got to go one more time here. So it'll be what?
Would it be 5 pi?
Yeah, you guys are good. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 pi over 4. 6 pi over 4. If you want to reduce, go ahead. 7 pi over 4. And then one more, 8 pi over 4. Or if you want to reduce that to 2 pi, that's fine. So I had to do 2 cycles. So there's our x-axis. There's our x-axis going by, hey, everybody, this is going by pi over 4. We're going by pi over 4. All right, let's graph it now. Now you guys can help me out. Hunter, here we go. Haven't heard from you today. Hunter, all we're doing is cosine. No amplitude, no shift, just good old cosine. Where are we starting, Hunter?
We start off at 1.
Yep, start at the max. You guys can spread that out if you want. 4, 1, it's going to go down to -1. All right, guys, here you go. It's going to start at the max. Keep talking to me, Hunter.
Then you go back down to the midline,
Yep, which is just 0 because there's no shift here. Keep going.
and then you go to the minimum.
Yep.
Which is -1.
Keep going.
Back up to the midline.
Yep.
Back up to the max.
Okay, guys, that's one curve. That's one cycle. And how are we going to get a second one? Do it again. All right, so again, back down to midline, minimum, midline, maximum. There you go. There's 2 curves of it, 2 cycles.
I should have asked this a while ago. I don't know if I zoned out, but how did you get pi over 4?
How? Okay, that's how you find your key value, Caroline. You take your period, which was what? Pi, and you
Yeah.
always divide it up into equal parts of 4. I think yesterday we did one that went 2, 4, 6, 8. That's because we took the period of 8, divided it by 4, and got 2. You always take the period divided by 4, and that's what you should be going by.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, you're welcome. All right, and then if you guys do number 6 right now, same thing. You got to do 2 cycles of it. All right, so you guys are good to go on your own. I'm going to say this as loud as I can in this empty classroom. This is due. Due tomorrow before class starts. All right, due tomorrow before class starts. Up on Classroom. So before you come to take your quiz tomorrow, this assignment is due. I apologize. I didn't give you as much time as usual, but hey, I wanted to make sure you guys got a solid quiz review in. If any questions are coming up right now on that assignment, let me know.
Can you go over 4? I know you just went over this.
Nope, that's fine. 4, so it's saying that starts repeating after 2 pi over 7, which is the period. So that's a fancy way of me saying the period's 2 pi over 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 pi over 7 equals 2 pi over b. Right? Period
Yeah.
equals 2 pi over b. So that's what I'm doing. And now I can
Okay.
cross multiply and solve for b.
Okay.
Good? Yep. That's due tomorrow, guys. Next time I'll see you, you'll have your quiz set up, ready to go for me. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Get ready for that quiz. You got it.